Today, we are going to be talking about how to graph systems of linear inequalities, which essentially just means that we have more than one inequality that we are dealing with. So down here, you can see I have one inequality and I have two inequalities. So we're going to graph both of those on the same plane. When I say plane, I mean this graph that you see right here, my x and y axis. We are going to be graphing both of them on the exact same plane. So you should all be on page 19 in your notes. And I turned the page and rewrote the inequalities that I will be graphing here on the left-hand side so that I don't have to keep flipping back and forth between my notes. So I'm going to do the first one in, let's see what color, red. So I'm going to graph this first inequality in red. Let's remember how to graph in y equals mx plus b format, okay? So I'm going to take my b right here, which is -2. That's my y-intercept. So I'm going to start at -2, put a point there. This -3 right here, that's my slope, -3 over 1, which means that I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Down 3, to the right 1. Okay, then I'm going to do the inverse of that. So instead of -3 over 1, I'm going to do 3 over -1, which means that I go from my y-intercept at -2. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 1, because I'm just doing the opposite of that, okay? Then I go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 1. Up 3, to the left 1. Up 3, to the left 1. Okay, here is my inequality. Now I need to decide if this is a solid line or a dashed line. So if we look right here at that less than sign, that tells us that is going to be a dashed line. So I'm going to draw my dashed line. And yes, if you do not draw a dashed line, you will be wrong. Okay? So please make sure that you don't forget that. Now, this is everything less than. So remember the trick that I taught you. You're going to take a point. Let's see, I'm going to get my highlighter. I'm going to do, what color should we do? Red. We'll do pink. Okay, we're going to take a point. I'm going to take this one right here. And I'm going to go down from that point. So it's everything less than. Okay? That's how you know which way to draw your shaded area on your plane. Okay, so you're going to take a point. And then you're going to either go down or up from that point. Well, here we go down because it's less than. Okay, now I'm going to do my next inequality, and I'm going to do that one in blue. So I'm going to take that -3. That is my y-intercept. So I'm going to go down to -3, put a point there. My slope is 1/2. So that means I go up 1, to the right 2. 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 Up 1 to the right 2. Okay, then I do the inverse of that. So I go down 1 and left 2. Down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. Keep doing that. And I need you guys to go all the way to the edge of your plane. Now we need to decide if this is a solid line or a dotted line. So if we look, that is greater than or equal to. If we have the equal to sign underneath us, then we know that it is going to be a solid line. Okay, now I need to decide where I am shading. So I know that it's greater than or equal to. So what I'm going to do is, let's do this. I take a point on my blue line, and I'm going to take that point here, and I'm going to either go up or down. Well, greater than is up. So that means that I shade everything up from that line. Okay, now if you can see, there is an area of this plane where we overlap both colors. We overlap the pink and we overlap the blue. That area is the area that we care about now, right here. Okay, this area that I'm going to kind of highlight in black, that is my overlapping area. And that kind of leads us into this definition that I'm going to talk about right here below. The solution to a system of linear inequalities consists of a section of the plane that satisfies all the linear inequalities in the system, meaning the overlap. So all the points within this black overlapping shaded area are solutions to both of the inequalities that we just graphed above. So let's talk about what that means with this question down here. Which points are solutions to the system of inequalities graphed to the right? Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. There are two inequalities graphed. We have my green inequality and we have my blue inequality. Now you can see that there's an overlapping area, and I will shade it with my highlighter. There's an overlapping area here where my blue and my green overlaps. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that. This highlighted area is, every point in that area is a solution to both my inequalities, okay? So let's just go one at a time and see if these points are solutions to my inequalities. Well, 0, 0, let's graph that. Is that point in my shaded area? That is shared, in my shared shaded area. No, it is not, okay? Let's go to 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go to the right 5 and up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, is that point in my shared shaded area? Yes, it is. So that means that that point is a solution. 1, 4. I'm going to go over 1, up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That lands on my solid dotted line. Remember that if it's a solid dotted line, we can include that point. So because it's a solid line, that is a solution. Okay, 4, -3, go over 4, down 3. That is not. Nope. Okay, 0, 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, that is a solution. Okay, 8, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Nope, that is not in my shared area. Okay, you guys kind of get the idea. I'll keep going. So I'm going to go over 8, to the right 8, down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We automatically should have known as we were graphing that because we were going down. It's not in our shaded area. Okay, -10, -10. That's going to be somewhere over here. That is not in our shaded area. Okay, 10, over 10, up 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we go to the right 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's in the top right hand corner. Yes, that is a solution to this shaded area. 0, 100. So we don't go left or right. We go up 100. Yes, that would be, because this shaded area can keep going all the way up here. Okay, so 100 is obviously going to be really far up, but it will be in the blue shaded area. Okay, -50, -251. We go left and then we go down. That is for sure not going to be in our shaded area. Okay, 10, 27. So we go to the right 10 and up 27. That means we go to the right here, and then we would go up to 27, which should be somewhere up here. And yes, that is in our shaded blue area. Okay, cool. So we just found all the solutions. I will circle them. These are solutions to my inequalities. Okay, let's turn the page to page 20. We are going to, for each of the following, graph the inequalities to find where the solutions are, write down 3 solutions, and write down 3 non-solutions. Okay, let's do this first one in red. Y is less than or equal to -2x plus 3. We automatically know that this is going to be a solid line because it's less than or equal to. Okay, so let's now do that. My 3 is my y-intercept, so I'm going to put a point at 3. My slope is -2, which is -2 over 1. And then the inverse of that is +2 over -1. So those are my slopes. I'm going to go to my y-intercept, and I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. Okay, and you're just going to keep doing that until you get to the edge of your plane. Then we're going to do our inverse slope, which is up 2 to the left 1. Up 2 to the left 1. Up 2 to the left 1, all the way to the edge of the plane. Now, it is a solid line because it's less than or equal to. Now, in order to know where we're shading, we're going to pick a point. I'm just going to pick this top point up here. I'll kind of pin it in black right here, this top point. And because it's less than, I'm either going to go down or I'm going to go up. Well, less than tells me to go down. So from that point, I'm going to go down. So that means I know that I'm shading everything below the line. Okay, because it's everything less than this line. Okay, now let's do this one in blue. Y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 2. I'm going to go to 2 on my y-axis. That's my y-intercept. My slope is 1/2, which means I go up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. Keep doing that until you hit the edge of your plane. So 1/2 is my slope, or -1 over -2, which is the inverse slope. Down 1 to the left 2, down 1 to the left 2, down 1 to the left 2, all the way until you hit the edge of the plane. Okay, now we need to decide if this is a dashed line or a solid line. Well, because it is greater than, it's a dashed line, okay? So I'm going to draw my line dashed. Remember, do not draw a solid line or else it will be wrong. Okay, now I need to decide if I shade above or below. Well, it is greater than, y is greater than, so I'm going to pick a point. I'll pick this point right here. I'll draw it in black. And I'm going to go everything greater than. So I either go up or down from that point. Well, I'm going to go up because it's greater than. Greater than means up. So I shade everything above my blue line. Okay, now you can see that there is an overlapping area, which I will highlight in, well, actually, I will not highlight. I will just leave it like that because you can see where the two colors overlap. So now we are going to just pick some points on our plane that are solutions. Solutions mean that it falls in the overlapping area that is shaded. So let's pick a point. Let's do -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5, 1, 2. -5, 2. That is a point in my shaded area. Okay? Another point could be let's do -10, 3. Okay, that is also in my shaded area. We can do -2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. -2, 4. That is also in my shaded area. Okay, now it wants us to find non-solutions. Okay, non-solutions meaning it does not fall in our shaded area. Well, we could do 0, 0. 0, 0 is not in my shaded area. We could do, let's see, 3, 1. 3, 1. That is not in my shaded area. And we could do, let's see, 10, 3. Okay, we go over 10, up 3. Also not in my shaded area. There we go. Now I have 3 points that are solutions to my inequalities, and I have 3 points that are not solutions to my inequalities. Okay? Now what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to pause the video, and you're going to do these 2 questions on your own. Okay? 1 and 2. You're going to graph both of them, and then you're going to find solutions and non-solutions. Ready, go. Okay, hopefully you did those 2 on your own. I'm going to go over these ones with you guys. I'm not going to go over the answers with those ones because I want you to check with your neighbors. So once you find the answers to those previous 2 questions, I want you to ask your neighbor what they got and see if you guys got the same answers. Now let's go over these ones. We are going to graph these systems of inequalities, and we are going to find solutions and non-solutions. So I'm just going to keep using red and blue as my colors. So my first one's going to be red. Y is greater than or equal to 3x. You might be thinking, well, Mrs. Wooden, there is not a y-intercept. Yes, there is. It's just 0. Okay, 3x plus 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 0 on my y-axis and put a point. My slope is 3, or 3 over 1. The inverse slope is negative 3 over negative 1. So I'm going to go from my y-intercept up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Up 3, to the right 1. Up 3, to the right 1. Then we do our inverse slope, down 3, to the left 1. Down 3, to the left 1. Down 3, to the left 1. Okay, now this is going to be a solid line because it is greater than or equal to. So now I'm going to pick a point. I will color that point in black right here. I'm going to use the point 1, 3. I'm going to say, okay, do I go up from that point or down from that point? Well, it's greater than. So I'm going to go up from that point, and that is where I shade. So I know that I shade on this side of my line because it is greater than. Okay, there's my first inequality. Now my second one I'm going to do in blue. Okay, first I need to put y on this same side. Okay, so we need to kind of solve this equation a little bit. I'm going to draw a line down my sign, and I'm going to move this 3x to the right side of my line. Well, what is the opposite of positive 3x? Well, that is negative 3x, so I'm going to minus 3x on both sides. 3x minus 3x is 0. Now I am left with y is greater than or equal to negative 3x plus 3. Okay, now that I have my equation, I can graph it. So I know that 3 is my y-intercept. I'm going to go put a point on 3. That's where I cross on the y-axis. And my slope is negative 3 over 1, or positive 3 over negative 1. So I'm going to go negative 3 over 1, down 3. 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. 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 Okay, now I'm going to go back to my y-intercept. I'm going to do the inverse slope. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 1. Up 3, to the left 1. Okay, go all the way to the edge of your plane. Remember, do not just do 2 points and call it good. You have to do the whole thing. Now I need to say, is this a solid line or a dashed line? Well, it is greater than or equal to, so it is a solid line. Okay, now I have to say, now I have to decide where I'm shading from this line. Well, it is greater than or equal to. So I'm going to take a point. We will just do this point down here, kind of in the bottom right-hand side. I'm going to draw it in black. I either go up from that point or I go down from that point. Well, because the sign is greater than, I'm going to go up from that point, okay? So now I know that I shade everything above the line like this. Now you can see that there's an overlapping area. That's the area that we care about, okay? So I will kind of highlight that area in black. And these are both solid lines, so I'm going to keep them as solid lines. Okay, we care about that area. That's where our solutions are going to be. So I'm going to take the points. Let's see, we're going to find solutions. I'm going to do it in my green. So the point 0, let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point 0, 5. That's in my overlapping area. 0, 6 is also in my overlapping area, which is right here. 0, 7 is also in my overlapping area. Cool. I just found 3 points that are solutions. Okay, now let's do non-solution points. So points that are not in my overlap area. Well, that's going to be easy. We'll just do this point right here. Negative 2, 0. 0, 0, that's also not in my shaded area. And just for funsies, we'll do negative 1, 1. That's also not in my shaded area. Cool. Again, it does not matter what points you choose, okay? As long as it is not in your shaded area, if it's a non-solution. And if it's a solution, it has to be in your overlapping shaded area. Okay, so we just care about the overlap when we're talking about systems of inequalities. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to try this question down here. And just to keep in mind, this one right here, my y isn't by itself. So you're going to need to move this 2x to the right side, okay? So if you're confused how to do that, go back, pause the video, go back to what I just did right here with this question. How did I move the 3x to the right side? That's what you need to think about. When you get the answer, I want you to check with your neighbor and see if you got the same one. Ready, go. Okay, hopefully you checked with your neighbor, and now we are going to do one last example problem together, and then we're going to do a word problem, and then you guys are done. So, we are going to graph these systems of inequalities. Well, in both of these inequalities, my y is not by itself. So I'm going to need to do some math. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rewrite these down here. 4x minus 2y is greater than or equal to 2. I'm going to draw a line down my sign. We are trying to get y by itself. So I'm going to undo everything that is furthest away from y first, which means I'm going to undo this 4x. I want the whole thing to move to the right side. This is a positive 4x. So in order to undo that, I minus 4x on both sides of my sign. So I'm left, that simplifies to 0. So I'm left with negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 4x plus 2. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now my y is still not by itself. I need to undo this. This is negative 2 times y. The way that I undo the multiplication of negative 2 is by dividing by negative 2 on both sides of my sign. Now remember, whenever you divide by a negative across your line, it switches your sign. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Whenever you divide by a negative across your line, it switches your sign. So I'm left with y, but I need to switch my sign is less than or equal to. Now I'm going to simplify this. Technically, we can write this as, we divide by negative 2 and we divide by negative 2. So I'm going to simplify negative 4 over negative 2. That is just 2x. Okay, plus 2 divided negative 2. That is negative 1. So now this is my new inequality that I am working with. I'm going to go back up here and let's do our second one. I'm going to do that in blue. Okay, I have negative x plus y is greater than 5. Okay, we got to get y by itself. So I'm just going to add my 1x on both sides. Okay, so y is greater than x plus 5. That is my new inequality that I am working with. So with that being said, let's go back to our graph. I am now graphing y is less than or equal to 2x plus 1. 2x minus 1. Minus 1 is my y-intercept, so I'm going to put a point there. My slope is 2 over 1. So I go up 2 to the right 1, 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 so on and so forth. And then I do the inverse slope, which this was 2 over 1. Inverse is negative 2 over negative 1. So I'm going to go back to my y-intercept. I'm going to go down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. Okay, now I need to decide if this is a solid line. Well, it is less than or equal to, so it is a solid line. Now, because it's less than, I'm going to take a point. We'll just do 1, 1. Well, it's less than, so I'm going to go down from that point. Okay, so I go down. That means I shade everything below that point. And yes, I would like you guys using different colors, okay? It makes it a lot easier. Now let's do my blue one. Y is greater than x plus 5. Well, 5 is my y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X, you might be thinking, well, there's no slope, Mrs. Wooden. It's just x. This is 1x. And any whole number can be turned into a fraction by putting it over 1. So my slope is 1 over 1. So I go up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1, and you keep doing that until the edge of the graph. Then I go down 1 to the left one, because I do the inverse slope, down 1 to the left one, all the way to the edge of the plane. Okay, now I might say, wait, did I do this one right? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on, pause. I think I did do this one right. Okay. So there we have to decide. This is y is greater than x plus 5, so I know it's a dashed line. So I'm going to draw a dashed line. And it's everything greater than, so I'm going to shade above my line. Okay. Now, do we see any areas where there is overlap? No, we do not, okay? Just because you don't see an area of overlap does not mean that your answer is incorrect. So, we would say that there are no solutions, okay? So, any point that we choose would be non-solutions. So, I'm just going to do it in orange. Let's see. 0, 0. That's a non-solution. There's no overlap, okay? -2, -1. Not a solution. Let's see. 0, 2. Also not a solution because there is no overlap. So that would be my answer. Now let's go ahead and do the word problem. This is the last part, and then we can be done. You can work at most 20 hours next week. You need to earn at least $25 to cover your weekly expenses. Okay, before we move on, let's just pause and think about what we just said. In math, the term at most indicates less than or equal to, okay? And in math, the term at least indicates greater than or equal to. So let's kind of think about what we just said here. We know we're going to write a system, because it says it right here, write a system of linear inequalities to model the situation. Let's write one for the first sentence that we just read. You can work at most 20 hours next week, which means I know that I'm going to work less than or equal to 20 hours. Okay? We're not done writing that one yet. You need to earn at least $25 to cover your weekly expenses. So we know that we are going to have greater than or equal to $25. Now let's keep reading. Your dog walking job pays $5 per hour, and your car wash attendant job pays $5 per hour. Okay. Let's label what our jobs can be called. Let's call our dog walking job X and our car washing job Y. Okay. Now, we can work at most 20 hours next week. So, with that being said, I know I can work my dog walking job plus my car washing. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. Go back. My dog walking job is X. My car washing job is Y. So that means between both the jobs, I can only work less than or equal to 20 hours. Okay, combined. So that's going to be my first inequality. My second inequality is we're talking about how much we're paid per hour. So my dog walking job pays $5 per hour. So I'm going to do 5 times my hourly rate at my dog walking job is $5. Okay. My hourly rate at my car washing job is also $5. Okay. So X is representing how many hours we work at my dog walking job. Y, how many hours I work at my car washing job. Okay. I just wrote a system of equations for this word problem. So now all we have to do is graph these. Now, we need y to be by itself. So if we take our x, we will do this. Let's do our red one first. Draw a line down my sign. I'm going to minus x on both sides. So I'm left with negative x plus 20. That's a -1. Okay, don't forget that. So now I have my new inequality, my red one. Let's do my blue one. 5x plus 5y is greater than or equal to 25. Draw a line down my sign. Try to get y by itself. We're going to undo everything furthest away from y first. So I'm going to minus 5x on both sides. So I'm left with 5y is greater than or equal to negative 5x plus 25. Now I need to divide by 5. So I am left with y is greater than or equal to negative 1x plus 5. Because I did negative 5 divided by 5 is negative 1. And 25 divided by 5 is 5. Okay, here are my inequalities that I am working with. So my first one, my y-intercept is 20, and my slope is negative 1. So I go down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one. Okay, remember I want you to draw your points all the way to the edge of the plane. Now, it is less than or equal to, so I know it's a solid line. And it's everything below my line because it's less than. Okay, now my blue one, I'm going to go to 5. That's my y-intercept. I'm going to go down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one because it's my slope. Okay, I got to finish drawing my red actually because all of this is red, everything below. Now, I know that it's also a solid line. And it says greater than or equal to, so it's everything above my line. So I am going to draw everything above the line. And we can clearly see that there is a big portion of overlap. Okay. Well, it doesn't ask us any other questions or to find solutions, so this would be our answer. My two circled inequalities and my graph with this big section of overlap that I will draw in black. All of that is overlapping area. Okay, cool. Now I just need you guys to work on the 6.3 assignment and please be good for the sub. Thank you guys.